Alright, so hello one and all, and welcome to another Danganronpa video. This time I will be talking about the upcoming game, Danganronpa V3, and what it has to do with the other games or anime. So this video is split up into 8 topics. Anyways, here they are. First, the similarities with Danganronpa V3 and a secret game called Danganronpa Distrust. Second, theorizing if Naegi created the Gifted Inmates Academy. Third, talking about what is shown about the setting of the game. Fourth, we'll be listing the new Killing School Life rules. If any of those topics are interesting to you, then stick around for the video. And before I start, I was wondering what you would like the next theory, top 10, or discussion video to be about. Also, I have to say that credit goes to Nidaime Hokage123 for giving me lots of information and the idea for this video. So if it weren't for him, this video wouldn't have been made. And I'm sorry for the delay on this video. This was supposed to be released about a week ago, but I've been sick for like the past 3.5 weeks and I'm still a little bit. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. So first is the similarities with Danganronpa V3 and Distrust. But for those of you who don't know what Danganronpa Distrust is, it's the beta version of Danganronpa 1. It was much more dark and messed up than the release version we all know and love. The setting doesn't take place at Hope's Peak Academy like it does now, but it was in a broken and deserted place that looks very similar to some kind of prison school. Not just the appearance of the game was different, but the whole gameplay was much different as well. There was no hope nor despair, only trust and distrust, which would explain the title of the game, and the game would change depending on who you chose to trust. Also, on some promotional teasers, there were taglines that translated into 7 days and 15 students. It seemed like that you had 7 in-game days to beat it or you would most likely lose. Anyways, now onto the comparisons. The first and probably the biggest comparison is the setting. In Danganronpa V3 you are in a school, but not one like Hope's Peak Academy. The Japanese name of the school that you're in is Saishu Gakuen. The English translation is Gifted Inmates Academy. So that means that you are in a prison school. Like previously stated in Danganronpa Distrust, you are in a broken and deserted place that looks very similar to some kind of prison school. Now as for the gameplay, it's questionable whether the developers took inspiration from Distrust, but there is a lying system in the classroom trials. From what we know, the mechanic will have you lie to the group in order to proceed through the class trial. So you or someone else will probably have to lie to say that, for example, Miu Umeda killed someone, or provide fake alibis or fake evidence to trick the killer to agree with you, so then you would know that they were lying and have them executed. Like I said before, the developers probably had some inspiration from the trust and distrust system, because you need to trust someone if they are or aren't lying to you. So now on to the second topic. It is a theory that Naegi created the Gifted Inmates Academy. So like I briefly said before, unlike the other games, in V3 you are in a prison school, specifically Gifted Inmates Academy. The school you're at in V3 is not only similar to Distrust School, but also Naegi's school at the end of Danganronpa 3 Kibohen. A scene in Kibohen shows Naegi in one of the classrooms at the school, and one of the trailers in V3 shows the player entering a classroom that looks very similar to the one that Naegi was in. There are 5 similarities in the classrooms and 1 big difference. The first similarity are the 3 panels on the back wall. In Kibohen they're blackboards, and in V3 the 2 smaller panels are covered and the big one in the middle is a big monitor. The second similarity is the stand in the middle of the back of the classroom. They both look very similar to each other. The third similarity is the placement of the windows. In V3 there are 4 barred windows covered in barbed wire on the left wall, and in Kibohen the placement of the windows are the same, but there's glass instead of bars and they're not covered in barbed wire. The fourth similarity is that there are 16 desks in each classroom. The fifth and final similarity is the placement of the door. In both rooms there's a door on the right wall at the back of the classroom, and beside the door on the back wall there is a piece of wall that sticks out. So I know that I said that there was only 1 difference, but I stated that there was a difference in almost every similarity. The reason why I said that was because all the differences I've listed so far are all changeable. You can change a panel of the wall, the windows, a stand in a room. There's also a few pieces of technology placed around the room, which is also very easy to change. This difference is much harder to change. The difference is the floor. In Kibohen, the floor is white, flat, and tiled, while in V3 the floor is separated into green and white and isn't flat. The floor has different levels, like stairs. This detail suggests that this is located in an entire different building, but with all the other similarities between the two, it's most likely that this is just in a different room or floor. So what I'm about to say is a stretch, but in Kibohen there's a scene where Yashiro is using his fortune-telling ball, which now has a dragon covering it, and in V3 there's a room with a statue of a dragon holding a sphere-shaped object that is almost like Yashiro's ball. The dragon statues look somewhat like the dragon in Yashiro's ball. Also, the little wiggles on the dragon's head looks almost like his hair. Yeah, I'm thinking about this a bit too much. One other thing to point out is, in the same scene with the dragon statue, at the top left of the screen, there's a school with a clock on top of it, and other smaller buildings surrounding it. In Kibohen, it shows Naegi's school from a far distance, and it appears to have a clock on the top with similar split-up pieces that resemble smaller buildings, just like V3. There are also smaller buildings in the background of the school in Kibohen that the icon could be showing. Now I'll be talking about the setting that we're at in V3. I went through all the trailers and found 9 different areas. So near the beginning of one of the trailers it says that the player's at a high school, and it was pretty obvious because of the room with all the desks, but basically every other room shown seems to be out of place. In the same scene that it says the player's in a high school, it shows what looks to be Hope's Peak Academy, but destroyed, surrounded by buildings and a big cage. In the second area there's a room with 2 black couches, a large flat screen TV, and blood. This area seems to be some kind of lobby place, and also someone might die here. The next place seems to be similar to the one in Danganronpa 2. There's a library in Danganronpa 2 that has a very similar design as the one that we see in the trailer for V3. So like I said before, there's a room that has a dragon statue that might be linked with Yashiro. So a place also similar to Danganronpa 2. They're what looks to be a gaming room. And rest in pieces, Chuck and Nami. We'll always remember and love you. As for the classroom trial location, we've been shown 2 different designs or areas for it. One area almost looks like the class trial place in Danganronpa 1, while the other resembles a church. The last 2 places might be considered as one because it seems like that they're in the same area. Anyways, the place seems to be some large medieval looking hallway. There's a few gated doors and one that has a green glowing sign that reads East. It's unclear if this is in the main building or not, but it might be connected to the place that looks similar to the library in Danganronpa 2. I found a list of 14 rules for the killing game in V3. Be warned that I don't know if this information is real, but it is very similar to Danganronpa 1. Anyways, onto the rules. Rule 1. There is no end date for the communal school life at the Gifted Inmates Academy. Rule 2. When a murder occurs, everyone must participate in a school trial. Rule 3. If the true culprit is found during the trial, then only the guilty party will be executed. Rule 4. If the true culprit is not found during the trial, everyone except the guilty party will be executed. Rule 6. If the innocent continue to win, the game will end when there are only 2 participants remaining. Rule 7. The hours between 10 and 8 are designated as nighttime, and the cafeteria and gym will be locked. Rule 8. Violence against Headmaster Monokuma is strictly prohibited. Rule 9. Monokuma will not interfere or aid with murders. Rule 10. Your mono pad should be kept safe, and please do not break it. Rule 11. The body discovery announcement will be played when 3 or more students discover a body. Rule 12. The students are free to investigate the school at will. There are no restrictions on this. Rule 13. Anyone who breaks the school rules will be punished by the nasty monkeys. Rule 14. The headmaster may add rules at any time. So I have a few things to say about this. First of all, Rule 3 and 4 says the guilty party. That could be a proper way of saying it, but generally a party means more than one person. So that could mean that there can be more than one murder per trial. The second thing I want to say is about Rule 6. It says that only 2 participants will survive. Previously, we've seen about 6 people survive each game. This will mean that more people will die than the previous games, or the students will break the rules again. Another thing that I have to say is in Rule 9. It says a Monokuma cannot interfere with murders, but he said nothing about the Monokumas allowed to interfere with the murders. The last thing I want to mention is the rule number 12. It says that students can investigate the school however they want, which means they can break things, unlike all the other school killing games. So that is it for this discussion video. Before I go, I want to apologize again for this video being late and just for not uploading in a month. But the majority of you probably didn't know this was even coming out, but it's the fact that I didn't upload is the main problem. But I've been sick, almost getting over it, but it's all good now. Videos should be coming out a little bit more often, maybe. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and goodbye.